Welcome, guys. My name is Micki Angeles.
What's up, y'all? I'm Fred Niones, a.k.a. Angelo.
And we're from the Simply Put podcast, which we discuss the news that surrounds the world of entertainment that interests us this week in film, TV, and in geek culture.
And to bring you something new this week, me and Mickey decided to review the latest episodes from Flash and Arrow, and maybe some other shows we like too. It's a natural progression for us. We would always discuss while we'd watch these shows, so hopefully you guys like it. So rate and comment below.
Like Fred said, this is something that we always wanted to do, so we're going to do it. We're going to start it off with The Flash.
Yep.
Season 1, Episode 12, Crazy for You. Overall thoughts from me, I would have to say that I'm a big fan of this episode. Don't think it's the best episode, but it's really competing because it had a lot of character development with a lot of the cast that we don't normally get to see. Mm-hmm. Cisco, always that fun-loving guy. We're getting to see him a little bit progress in his flaws. Captain Snow, we got to see a little bit more of her and her relationships with her and Robbie Amell's character, Firestorm, and how she's coping with the death or the comeback or the abandonment, I guess.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see too much of Harrison Wells or Joe or Iris, but we did get to see Flash in the opening scene where he saves the couple from the burning car.
Oh man, that was intense. It was intense.
It was a great scene because it really showed the superhero-ness of Flash and Barry and Flash as Barry, to give us a glimpse of what he could be in the future, I would say.
And it's showing his progression in speed throughout this season because he wants to get faster. Because he says, I'm no longer the fastest man alive. So he's trying to reclaim that title. And I like that. That.
And the episode kind of gives us this, monster of the week, usually in every episode. And this week we get to see Peekaboo, a metahuman of the teleporting kind. We don't really get to see her origin story like we do with the other characters. But we do get to see her motives in saving her boyfriend, stealing the money just to pay back the drug lord or the kingpin or the mafioso of that town in Central City. But that was just the backdrop to, I think, Barry and his father getting together.
Yep.
Since the prisoner escaped from Iron Heights, Joe set up a meeting between Barry and his father, and that was a great moment to see the depths of character of Barry's father. What was your overall thoughts on the movie? On the TV show?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it way better than last week. I think it was funnier. What really surprised me? That nerd fight between Cisco and the Sonic guy. I was like, he's doing martial arts. Yeah, he was doing martial arts. And the Cisco guy, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? But yeah, I really liked it. I like the subtle hints of Barry moving on from Iris with that new girl,
Linda Park.
Yeah, Linda Park, played by the beautiful Melissa Joao.
I gotta say, Melissa Joao looks so pretty.
Yeah, she's bad.
She, in the comic books, Linda Park has been known to be the wife or girlfriend of Wally West.
That's my favorite Flash, by the way.
Which is Kid Flash.
Yep.
And I had this little theory that I think I've told you already about where I see Wally West coming in. Being Joe's last name is West, my theory is that when the Flash starts to go into this time travel scenario, which he's bound to go, we're going to get to see Wally West from Earth 2 or Earth 3, and it's going to be the son, Joe's son.
Yeah, instead of Iris.
Instead of Iris. And instead of Barry Allen of that time getting the powers, I think Wally West of that time is going to get the powers, which would be cool.
And maybe Barry is a woman in that one.
Maybe. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right? So we get to see the teleporter. I think it was better than the last episode just because I think they spent a little bit more money on the special effects.
That was great teleporting, by the way.
Teleporting looked very close to Bryan Singer's X-Men 2, the Nightcrawler, the mist of black and purple. And, it's great that they gave her the powers where she has to see where she's going. They figured it out pretty fast with the help of Barry's father, who kind of got stabbed for squealing.
He was a narc.
He narked on one of the inmates.
He never narked,
for
bro.
The betterment of to capture the
and he said it himself, and he goes I've never been there for you, but this is my chance to actually help you out. And then that last scene when he was when he was if Flash was my son, I tell him he's a hero. and that his dad is proud. I was like, oh, he knows.
He knows. They had one of those frequency moments. If you know what I'm talking about, watch the movie Frequency.
Oh yeah,
with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel.
That's Jesus Christ, by the way.
It hits very close to home. I like the relationship that they're going with. Kind of another father in Barry's life. You have Joe, who raised him. You have his real father, biological father, and you have Harrison Wells,
the mentor,
who's like a mentor, father figure, friend kind of person,
and enemy maybe.
And so in closing in that episode, they had the meeting of Iris and Linda Park, kind of showing Barry's.
She caught feelings, and I loved it. That's what you get. That's what you get.
I like also the karaoke scene, which shows Kathleen and him and Barry kind of like releasing their tensions of work and trying to find, their future in the love specter, the love realm.
As we're getting into like halfway through the season, I've noticed that they're going into more of the side characters' character developments, because the first half was so heavy with Barry, Joe, then you had Harrison Wells, and even Eddie Thawne. So now they're taking kind of a back seat, and they're showing more personalities of Cisco and Danielle Baker, who plays Caitlin Snow, which I hope she becomes Killer Frost, because that arc would be so good for this kind of TV show, because they were friends and then she gets mutated somehow.
I think they're gonna go with like the scorned partner in this, whereas she's gotten over Robbie, and I think she falls in love with Barry, but then Barry just doesn't love her, so she gets scorned, and somehow she gets these powers. Cisco is also gonna have powers. He's Vibe supposedly in this.
Is that a New
TV
52
show.
Character?
I believe it's a New 52, but I could have sworn I saw him in JLU. If you ever watched the animated series, my theory, I'm gonna toss it out there. You guys could timestamp it. I feel that there's gonna be some sort of guilt manipulating either Cisco or Kathleen Snow, and to me, I think it's going to be more on Cisco. I think Cisco feels bad about something later down the episode, maybe even into next season, and he's going to try to recreate the the
particle
accelerator.
Yeah.
And he's going to try to reverse it to take everybody's powers, but instead he enhances it and gives himself powers, gives Kathleen powers as well. I don't know, just a theory out there. I think that's what's going to happen. But we're going to save this for the end of the episode, but you know what? We'll cap it off. So the teaser in the end, we get to see Gorilla Grodd in the sewer. And I got to say, those special effects on that ape look very lifelike. Peter Jackson, King Kong lifelike, which I was very excited to see. Not really sure how they're going to play into the talking ape thing in the CW universe. But what do you think about like seeing Gorilla Grodd in all his glory?
We were texting last night.
Oh man!
So I had a nerdgasm where I just like powered up to Super Saiyan 2, and it was I was screaming in my room. People were like, "You alright in there?" Like, I'm just hyped from the show, and I think to avoid the talking ape, maybe he has telekinesis or telepathy.
Okay.
And that's how he can control people's minds and stuff. I don't know. That's my guess, because I'm going with like a little bit more of a grounded,
true
origin.
Mm-hmm. And the next episode is gonna be dealing with head-to-head with Robbie and Mel. Is Firestorm, and we get to see the stories between them two and how Flash interacts. So I like the episode. Definitely go watch. Stay tuned. I think The Flash is one of the better series out right now. And
no, I still like Arrow.
You gotta watch it. I'm a big fan. I think it had one of the best this is one of the best premiere seasons of any superhero related TV show, I would say, especially on network.
But I agree with you. Yes, go watch Flash. Go watch Arrow.
All right, guys. So why don't you take us to Arrows, Mr. Arrow?
All right. So it's season 3, episode 12, The Uprising, and we see the return of the Emerald Archer himself, Ali, come back to Starling City. But before he gets there, there's still the nonsense with Brick. So Team Arrow is trying to pull everyone together. They're trying to they had like a deal with the devil thing with Merlin, and we see Merlin's flashback finally, which I love. A welcome addition to the show. It's adding depth to each character. We had one with Diggle. So we had one with Felicity. Yeah. Now we're gonna have one with Merlin. So I can't wait. Maybe we get one with Roz one eventually. So hopefully it'll be good. But yeah, we get the return of Ali, and oh man, that speech at the end. Woo.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Okay, the end, I gotta say, really picked it up. In the beginning, I was very lukewarm on this whole episode. It started off slow to me, at least. We got this scene in the diner in the Glades with Red Arrow or Arsenal, whatever you want to call him, and Laurel's Black Canary. They beat up a bunch of bad guys. Sin sees Laurel or sees the Black Canary and instantly realizes that's not Sarah.
Yep.
That's why I don't understand why Captain Lance can't see it. Because in the episode, he notices Roy.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, I guess I don't got to use this voice deformity, whatever they want to call that. So that makes me kind of curious on why. Maybe it's just his father's guilt that he just doesn't want to see it, which is the reason why I feel like he can't put Ollie and Arrow together, because I feel like he just doesn't want to know.
He even said it himself in, like, I think season 1, where like Felicity was like, "Oh, don't you want to know who he is?" Like, oh no, actually it was Laurel. It was like, he's a hero and wears a mask for a reason. So I don't want to know who he is. It makes him a human, and you know, and he's and Ollie says it even in the beginning of the show. He goes like, "I'm a hero to some people, but to others I'm more." So it's getting to that progression where he was the Hood, now he's the Arrow, and then Green Arrow.
And there's a lot of the Dark Knight Rises in this episode.
Yes, it was.
Which the creators actually said that they took a lot of influences from a lot of the Batman storylines, even delving into the Christopher Nolan verse. Especially in that scene in the Glades where you had in one side you have Brick and his gang and crew, and on the other side you had the Team Arrow with Sin and all the other
the Glades,
insurgents of the Glades. The funny thing is, like, both sides had guns and
they didn't use them,
and no one used them.
And then Diggle only used it when he was like really close to a guy like this.
Okay, so about Diggle, I think Diggle in this episode didn't really do much, which is a waste because I really like Diggle. And I feel like he just needs to leave Arrow and do something else, whether it's in another show, maybe move him to Flash, or move him to, you know, the Titans season, which is coming to TNT. But if you're gonna show Diggle, you gotta give him some credit because he's not really a tech guy, even though he was in the armed forces.
He was in the special ops.
He's not really a tech guy. He shouldn't be staying behind Felicity. He should be on the field. That's why I felt like, you know, if you're gonna focus on Laurel and Roy, then you don't have to put Diggle in the episode. Maybe he's gone because he got, you know, taken from Argus, and they're gonna do another suicide mission, which is supposedly gonna happen in this season 2.
Or even saying, "Oh, I gotta protect my kid."
Exactly, something like that. It's just a wasted opportunity. Felicity started to annoy me, but then when we get later down the road, we find out her story. But also Merlin, I was texting Fred, and I was like, you know what?
I hate this guy because of his face.
Merlin, but then as soon as that happened, that's when they went to the flashback up scenes. And I forgot the actor who's doing him, but he did a great job. It was one of his, you know, best performances, obviously, because he had a lot more to do. We go through his flashbacks of his Rebecca, his wife, dying. He gets manipulated to kill the wrong person. We find out it was actually Brick.
Yeah,
Brick was the actual person who killed Rebecca, Merlin, and we find out it's Brick's initiation. To whatever
that gang he was going to.
Which I think, I have a little theory that I think it's going to be a little bit more deeper than just that gang. I feel like it's a plan from Ra's al Ghul from the Get or something like that. Yeah. But anyways, he after the killing of the supposed murderer, Merlin in his flashback goes to
Nanda Parbat.
Thank you, because I didn't know how to say that. And meets a young Nisa, who gives him the name the Magician. Yeah.
Which is his ode to the comics, because he was Merlin. You know, Malcolm Merlin was that persona was made for the show to add depth, I guess, to this character. Yeah. But in the comics, he was known as just Merlin, and he was the Black Archer that taught Ollie actually on Starfish Island in the comics to how to, you know, aim a bow. What I really liked also was that hint that Tatsu gave Ollie. He goes like, "If you're gonna beat this guy, how am I gonna beat this guy?" And she goes like, "Only a student has a chance to kill the master."
Yeah, and that I think that that goes deep into the rest of the episode. Is Thea's the student of Merlin.
Yeah.
So is Thea gonna beat Merlin? Is that something?
It's like the Sith.
So we find out Merlin's gonna be training with. That's exactly it, because it's very Jedi-like.
Yeah.
And is Green Arrow, is Ollie the Luke Skywalker to Merlin's Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Because I heard originally that they were gonna actually give they were gonna give Ollie to Merlin, meaning Ollie was gonna be the son of.
Oh yeah.
Merlin instead of Thea being the daughter.
Oh okay.
But I think that's a little bit too close to the nose. But so to beat Ra's al Ghul, it has to be the student. So is it gonna be Merlin fighting Ra's, which I think is gonna happen anyway because of the things that he's done?
Yeah.
Or is it gonna be Thea against Merlin or Ollie against Merlin?
I think
the student.
I think he's gonna. He said he's gonna start training with them.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be Ali versus Raz again, round 2. But I hope he gets help, maybe by Deathstroke. I mean, who's making a comeback this season, or Merlin, or maybe even Sarab, who's Maseo also. So maybe because I don't want him to beat Ra's al Ghul. Mm-hmm. Only Batman can do that.
Yeah.
So you could take your Batman liberties that you want, but Green Arrow is not Batman, and you gotta respect that hierarchy in the superhero realm. So
that was the Uprising.
Yep.
We got the return of Oliver to
Starling City. Star City now, I think.
Star City. We didn't get a chance to go to the Ray Palmer stuff, but we did get a chance to see the Adam outfit.
Yeah.
Which to me looks cool for the Arrowverse, but I think it could have used a little more blue, in my opinion, to do a little bit more ode of the red and blue. But overall, it looks cool. The visor, a little bit weird for me, but I guess in action, we'll get to see how it really looks.
Actually, my coworker told me this, that they actually wanted Blue Beetle instead of Adam. So maybe that's why he's like having a battle armor. So how would you feel about that? Like they're adopting the Blue Beetle thing.
Well, I think that's what
into Adam.
Well, they did. I think season 2 when I rewatched it, they did a lot of hints. Well, this show as well as the Flash, both creators in the CW do a lot of great fan service.
Yeah.
They've mentioned the Blue Beetle already in season 2, as well as Booster Gold.
Okay.
In subtle hints. In this episode, the Uprising, we got a Nightwing reference.
Yeah. That was a good cover.
What a Bloodhaven.
That was a good cover.
Bloodhaven.
Like, where were you? I went to a friend and met him in Bloodhaven, and then I got arrested for a month.
So, hope you guys liked our review. We're not
gonna talk about next week, the Canaries episode.
Next week. So we got Vertigo coming back in the next episode of Arrow. And it's gonna be the title is called The Canaries, which is gonna probably be the end of the arc for Laurel, which kind of has been annoying me. I know we haven't really talked about her in this episode. After that, we're gonna get the return, which is gonna be 2 episodes from now, which could mean many things. First, I actually know. First, I thought it was gonna be Oliver coming back to Starling City, but that didn't happen. That happened in the Uprising. It could be the return of Ra's al Ghul. Could be the return of Deathstroke.
It is the return of Deathstroke.
So it is. So we'll see how that plays out.
But the showrunners and the writers have said it means a return to a place that the fans know. So that's a hint for you guys. I don't want to spoil it.
All right. So we'll try to figure that out or not. Why don't you guys tell it? What does that mean? What does the return mean? Write it in the comments below or at us. My name is Micki Angeles. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at MixCertified.
Yeah, hear my thoughts on Twitter. Like my pictures on Instagram at _Fred_N.
And if you want more news and updates, come check us out at Simplyputtalk.com. If you have questions, comments, you want to give us some topics for the podcast, go to info@simplyputtalk.com. So we love your support. We appreciate everything you do. So like, rate, subscribe. Follow me. Follow everybody. Follow It's J-Man with a Z.
Yes.
And
see ya.
Next time. Peace out.